Hello ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to look at Unit 4 Special Functions. What you're going to want to have on you today, you're going to want your notes and then your listening ears today. So remember, domain and range, we've looked at this before with just ordered pairs. We have the ordered pair 2, 7, 4, 11, 6, 15, and 8, 19. Remember the domain was your x values, so my domain in this case would be 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then my range would be 7, 11, 15, and 19. Now, that's with what's known as discrete graphs, just has dots. But sometimes it's not possible to list all the x and y values because a graph is continuous, which means it's made up of an infinite number of points. Or basically, all you see is a line. To list the domain and range, we can't make a list of points because they're infinite, right? We can't make them any. So instead, we're going to use a list of intervals of the values. So we're going to look at a graph and read what it says in terms of x and y values. So for domain, we're going to look at the x values. So we're going to look at left to right on a graph. For range, we're going to go bottom to top. So negative values to positive values. All right, so let's take a look at a problem like this. So it says, here's my graph, and I got to write the domain and range using interval notation. Now, notice right here how we have a closed dot. Now, the closed dot means we're going to include that into our interval. Now, if it's an open dot, that means you're not going to include it. There's two ways we're going to write interval notation. So on the end of, it's going to look like an ordered pair, but it's going to have two kinds of parentheses, if you will. If we're going to include a number, we're going to put what's known as a bracket. So this is going to mean we're including the number. Okay? If we see a parenthesis, that means we're not including the number. Alright? So domain, notice we're going to leave left to right. So if I start going here, I hit my first value right here, which is at -4. But I'm including -4. So I want to put a bracket around -4. I like to think that the bracket is holding him in there. Alright? Now, how long am I going for? Well, my x values, if I keep going here, I'm done right here, right? So that is at 2. So what I will put is a comma and then 2. Now, I am including 2 as well. So I got to put a bracket around that. So now what this is saying is from -4 to 2 is my domain. Not -4 to the ordered pair, but to -4 to 2 is my domain values, my interval. Now let's look at our range, bottom to top. Well, it looks like my graph starts right here at -2, and I'm including -2. And then if I go all the way up, it looks like I'm stopping right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm including 4, right? So -2, 4 would be my range. Now, this is the one I want you to write down. Notice I am including this one, but not including over here. Okay, so we gotta be careful. Let's do our domain. So my domain, my graph starts here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -7, right? And we're including it. So I'm gonna put a bracket around that. To exclude, because we're not excluding, but we're going up to that point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put 5, but now we're not including 5 because it's an open dot. So to show that it's open, we're going to put a parenthesis because the parenthesis is not holding on to it. It's just kind of has it right there. Okay? Let's try our range. So my range is 1, 2, -3, and I'm including -3, right? And my upper value, so my range, is a +1. Not including, so we're going to put a parenthesis. So if you need to make a little note that means not including, and the bracket means including. So you don't forget that. That's something we're going to be using a lot. So you're going to want to keep that in the back of your mind, okay? last problem for the day. So I have domain and range of this graph. Now, notice we start here and it shoots off forever over that way, right? Well, my domain, I know I'm starting at 0, but it looks like I'm going forever this way. Now, forever in the positive direction, well, forever is infinity, right? So I'm going to infinity. Now, can you include infinity? Nah, can't include infinity because you never really can hold on to infinity, right? There's always one more number past that. So you're going to put a parenthesis around infinity. What about my range? So I know I'm starting at 0 for my range, right? Because here's my 0 range. Now, this is going to keep growing and growing and growing. So it's also positive infinity. Whoa, that was a pretty square parenthesis. Let's fix that. There we go. Parentheses. Make sure your brackets and your parentheses look different, alright? And that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers.